I am here to do the review of Monday Night Raw. And overall, I thought the show really sucked. I did not care for it. I was extremely bored throughout the show, and I think that was the main theme. I was just not interested in anything that they were trying to do. There was things I liked. I liked Braun Strowman destroying Kalisto. That was cool, but everything else just felt flat. It felt redundant. It just felt like they were just going through the motions, and for a show that has a pay-per-view on Sunday, it gave me no excitement for Payback. I can care less about Payback. I do not give a damn about Payback, and that's not good, and I don't care much for the card. I'm not really looking forward to anything on the show, and I am just not into the show at all. So I really did not like Raw. The previous few weeks have been pretty good, and then this, of course, went back to, I guess, WrestleMania season is officially over. All that WrestleMania momentum they kind of built, it's over. So, product is back to normal, and that is a bad thing, because the product right now is sucking. Raw was a terrible show. So, the show opened up with Chris Jericho coming out for the highlight reel. And the one thing I have to say, Jericho was a lot funnier as a heel than he is as a babyface. Then, of course, Miz came out and they changed it to Miz TV. Then Ambrose came out and they changed it to Ambrose Asylum. And then Ambrose gave Miz a Dirty Deeds. And that was the segment, which about the main event, which is a tag team match later in the night. And then after that, we had a match. It was Matt Hardy. One thing I have to say about Ambrose, I'm really sick of Ambrose as this comedic babyface. You want to see the crazy, serious, dark Dean Ambrose, like the Heath Ledger's Joker's kind of character, and we don't get that. And I think the fans want that, and I think the fans would heavily prefer that. And unfortunately, he has lost all momentum, and Jericho, we know he's leaving, and Miz has lost all his WrestleMania momentum. I don't want to see Miz Intercontinental Champion. I'd prefer Miz to just be John Cena. I found it hilarious when he was impersonating John Cena. I just thought that was really funny. And I thought Maurice was also great in that role when she was mocking Nikki Bella. I don't care anymore. And, segment just felt dragged on forever. So Matt Hardy and Sheamus. It was a typical match, just going through the motions, and Hardy and Sheamus. I mean, the one thing I noticed is, I've pointed this out, usually that always means whenever one wrestler loses a week before, that usually means they're going to win at the pay-per-view, but since the Hardys come back, I wouldn't necessarily bet on that. They had Sheamus get distracted by Jeff, and then, they did a stare down, they shook hands. It was like, it's fine. There's nothing to the match, really. I'm not dying to see it, but it'll probably be good. It is what it is. So the first hour of the show, it was a underwhelming post-match segment, which was preceded by, a very underwhelming promo. So already the show was off to a bad start, and I was already losing interest in the show, and I already thought the show was not looking very promising already. Going into that, I think everyone wanted to see was Braun Strowman kill Kalisto. And before I get into that, I'm just, again, really annoyed that WWE would try to use the death of Roman Reigns' brother as a way to advance the storyline. It's just really classless on their part, but I'm not surprised. They've done so many angles with deaths, and wrestlers have passed away recently. And it's not shocking, but it's really tasteless. And it is what it is. So, You had Miz and Maurice yelling to Kurt Angle, asking, complaining that Angle makes a tag team match. And I think that's not the first we're going to see of these two. Then we had the Cruiserweight match, which was Austin Aries and Jack Gallagher against TJ Perkins and Neville. Don't give a shit about the Cruiserweights. Glad it was over quick. So Braun comes out, he cuts a promo, he calls the fans trash since they can't cheer him, even though they will cheer him. And then, of course, they're doing everything with Roman Reigns. They're just building up Braun Strowman so he can lose to Roman Reigns. It's whatever. Kalisto comes out, and Kalisto ends up winning the match. After the match, Braun kills him, chokeslams him a whole bunch of times. This was a dumpster match, of course, and then Braun puts him in the dumpster, closes the lid, and then he pulls it up the ramp and throws him off the ramp. Okay, exactly the same spot as the New Age Outlaws did to Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie in 1998. But not as effective because the ramp was a lot higher and it looked a lot worse. That's what I thought. It just looked so much worse because the ramp was a lot higher. This ramp was about 2 feet tall, so it wasn't that big of a fall, and it didn't look as bad, even though when he fell, it made a loud thud. So, it doesn't look painful. It just didn't look too, brutal, because, we've seen so much worse in 98, so it was alright. I guess they have to have Braun kill everyone. After that, they showed Kalisto being stretchered off, and they showed Kurt with him, and I'm just thinking to myself, I'm not finished with you yet. Nope, didn't happen. You had a Bray Wyatt promo talking about the House of Horrors. I can give 2 shits about this match. This match is going to suck. I don't care. It looks like a PG-13 horror movie. No one wants to see this. The WrestleMania match was the absolute shit. I do not care to see this. I want this feud to be over. I just do not care. Then you had Alicia Fox and Dana Brooke. This was just awful. My God, that was terrible. You have Emma and poor Emma. She has to be stuck with this fucking loser Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke, I just think she is just terrible. Horrible. Then you have a 6-man next. You had Joe Gallows and Anderson. And Joe, they're acknowledging they know each other, so I guess that's kind of some old, and they're acknowledging past indies. The match happened, and they beat up Enzo before the match. He got hit, so after that, Kurt Angle is forced to, after this, he has to bring in a replacement, who it is, none else but Finn Balor. Balor comes back. They're not doing much with him. He has no storyline. He's just showing up and, showing up for surprises. He comes out, and then in the end, they have a decent match. Rollins got the win. I guess his new finisher is the flying knee. And he can't use the curb stomp. No pedigree, thank God. That pedigree is annoying. He uses a flying knee. It's a legitimate move. If you've ever seen an MMA, there's nothing more devastating than a flying knee. So I don't have a problem with it. But I still prefer the curb stomp. Then after the match, after that, let me see the gorgeous Alexa Bliss come out. She's beautiful as always. She comes out, cut a decent promo, mocks Bayley for a while, and then the Alexa is out, and Bayley comes out. Then Bayley comes out. They did this whole thing with the what chant. She owned them. The dialogue was okay here. Bayley comes out. Bayley's dialogue is just terrible. They're doing such a terrible job at Bayley. She is, they're going to ruin her. I think they need to get the belt off of her. So hopefully one time when they do give her that big push, it'll be memorable. But they're going to kill her dead. And that's unfortunate because she has so much potential. The dialogue is just elementary school level girls making fun of each other. Just horrific. Sasha Banks comes out, yells at Alexa, calls her a troll. I guess there's real heat there. So, after the match, they were supposed to have a match, and Alexa says she doesn't feel safe with her. I think that's because Sasha's broken her nose a couple times in NXT. And then, they have a match, Alexa and Sasha. Nothing. It's a quick match. Alexa ran out. It was a count-out win for Sasha. Then after the match, they were trying to shoot an angle. Bailey sees her on the apron. Bailey tries to throw her back. Alexa runs off, and Alexa hits Bailey in the back. And Sasha comes out and chases Alexa to the back, and it ends with Alexa letting go Bailey. Yeah, again, just not interested at all. Not interested in that match. They go to Ambrose and Jericho. Just horrible comedy, just awful. Then we got more comedy with Enzo, or with Heath Slater and Curtis Axel with The Miz. And it is just awful. It is just terrible. It's so bad. It's hard to sit through at this point. Then you have Kurt Hawkins and Apollo Crews. Crews wins in a squash, and oh great, they're just trying to do this fucking stupid Titus O'Neil, Titus brand gimmick. Why would you want to be Titus O'Neil? He's the biggest loser on the company. This is just terrible. Then we go to the back. Miz, they're trying to find the Miz a tag team partner, and there's no match, and it goes into Jericho and Miz. Alright, Jericho and Ambrose against Miz, and I guess it's a handicap match, and then they beat him up for a while, and all of a sudden, they were gonna go to the announce table. Ambrose was gonna put him through the announce table, and all of a sudden Bray Wyatt comes, he interferes, he's the partner, I guess, or not officially the partner. He beats up everybody. He hits Sister Abigail and on the LED board. That was pretty damn cool. And again, they have a brawl, and Bray Wyatt lays out everyone, and Miz tries to pat him on the back, and Bray lays out the Miz, and it was like, this show, not a good show at all. No interest at all in WWE Payback. This was a horrible Raw. Very boring, very going through the motions, just nothing happening. WrestleMania season's officially over because this show is back to normal, which is being boring as fuck.